guess what? All those auto pen pardons, they're no good. Not according to the House Oversight Committee, which just came out with its brand new report. And by the way, the doctor that was involved in the cover-up of all that, he might actually be in serious trouble. He could lose his license, according to Comer. But anyway, going to the report, the Biden autopen presidency decline, delusion, and deception in the White House, the biggest political scandal in American history. Because it's like, who the heck was signing these? Oh, it was Zients? Was he the guy? Who was just like A-OK-ing? I mean, there was an email in the New York Times that we know about where he apparently signed off on all this stuff. Let me tell you, Anthony Burnell, he was the chief of staff to one Dr. Jill Biden. He had a heck of a lot of power because, you know, she controlled access to Joe, and Burnell had a lot of access to Jill and thus access to whatever people were deciding to do. On top of which, this autopen thing was really bizarre. I mean, nobody's ever done that before in history. You don't just like blank, you know, check a whole slew of people that haven't even come under indictment for anything. I mean, think of how bizarre and crazy that is. Comer was on, who runs the House committee that came out with the report here, the Oversight Committee, forgive me. He actually went on with our friend Benny Johnson, and I want to share with you a clip from the show earlier today where he laid this out.
Really quickly here, we have actually that New York Times article that says specifically that Jeff Zients replied all and says, I approve of the pardons. Well, that's not in the Constitution, brother. So does this mean that Dr. Fauci, this is specifically about the Fauci pardon, the ream of pardons that were rolled out, but the Fauci pardon. So you are saying declaratively, and that we will stand up in court and stand up in any trial before any court in the land, including the Supreme Court, that Dr. Fauci's pardon is null and void.
Yes. Yes. I mean, look, at the end of the day, you have to have a formal process for the autopen. And, you know, they're trying to say, well, some of these were approved verbally. Some of these we had a memo. There's emails from the Biden Department of Justice, the Merrick Garland Department of Justice, to the Biden inner circle saying, you need to be careful using the autopen so much on legal documents. And then there are other emails. Was the president even aware that this particular person was pardoned? And I mean, so his own Department of Justice is concerned that, number one, there's excessive unauthorized use of the autopen, and number two, that the President of the United States has no clue who's being pardoned.
That's bad.
By his unnamed staffers that are you know, using the autopen. And when Donald Trump says it was the autopen presidency, what we saw in the last 3 months, from the time of the debate, the disastrous debate when Joe Biden had to drop out, until the moment of the transfer of power from Biden to Trump, that would be a pretty accurate statement that it was the autopen presidency.
Wow. Okay. So if you have an autopen presidency, you really don't have anybody in charge. You don't have a president of the United States of America. You just have certain factions that are able to get whatever pet project they want through. In this case, you know, thousands of autopen pardons. Let me just point to the elephant in the room. The real fear is, were these pardons for sale? Or there some kickbacks? I mean, just exactly what went on. And you know, you can't live in a world where you just get on a list because you pay a price or you know someone, and then you get this like automatic pardon. I mean, it's actually really and truly bizarre. And why was there a doctor there who was not actually telling us the severity of Biden's decline? I mean, it's pretty obvious, the mental decline. For goodness sakes, I mean, remember when they were going to prosecute him for the FBI? The FBI had found the documents that were next to his Corvette in his garage, and he had knowingly taken these, and they were classified. And sure, they went after Donald Trump with all they had, and then they made the conclusion. It was Robert Hur, right, who said, well, you know, he's not going to be able to stand up in front of a jury and actually deliver any kind of sensible message. Why? Because he was that deteriorated by that point. And so they never moved forward with charges because he was so gonzo. Okay, so I don't know. You can sit there and try and tell us KJP or Jake Tapper back in the day that he had it going on, but like the rest of the world saw what was what. So what was going on with the doctor, for goodness sakes? Why would you have a White House doctor that's not admitting the truth to anyone? Okay, right? Kevin O'Connor was his name. And you know what? I showed you all the testimony. He kept taking the fifth and the fifth and the fifth, and we don't need to watch it again, but you can see he's citing his client doctor privileged relationship. And while I have the utmost respect for that, like at some point, what about the nation? Like, doesn't the nation matter? I mean, I'm all about, your privacy with your doctor, but I'm sorry, you're the president of the United States of America. And if you're declining mentally, or if you are at risk for a kind of cancer that, I'm sorry, you're like, okay, I'm too old to get checked for this, but you know what? You're the president of the United States of America. You should be checked for it. And so if he's like not checking him, he's obviously a total tool, right? He's obviously not very good at his job. And why do we have a doctor like that treating the president of the United States of America? And if he is checking about him and then he's lying about it, well, then that's a whole other can of worms. So this guy is now in serious trouble. And James Comer came out today and he is urging the DC Board of Medicine to investigate Kevin O'Connor and say, what the heck were you doing? Because he believes that he was involved somehow in this so-called coordinated decline, or cover up rather, not the decline, but the cover up of the actual decline. He's recommended the ex-White House doctor be disciplined according to the New York Post, sanctioned, or even lose his medical license as a result. This is really, this is sort of wild stuff. We've never been quite in this territory before. It is what you call uncharted territory. And all I can say is, like, America's relieved. America's relieved to actually have somebody who's competent back in charge. You should see what he's doing in Japan. It's actually amazing. I'm going to get to it in a second. But as we talk about health and wellness, it's a good opportunity for me to give a shout out to our wonderful friends at Balance in Nature. You can get 35% off right now with code word Trish. One of the things I like about this supplement is when I turn over to the back of the bottle, I actually can read the ingredients. Okay. So I know everybody thinks I'm really smart and all that, but when it comes to chemistry, I'm dealing with this because one of my kids is in a chemistry class, and it's harder for her than I thought it would be. But then again, she's her mother's daughter. What can we say? Chemistry did not come that easily to me. And so when I look over and I flip over and I see all the products and all the things listed, it kind of, always gives me pause on these supplement bottles. But one of the things I love about Balance in Nature is you can understand it. So they've got 31 ingredients. It's sort of what you see is what you get, right? So that makes me really happy to be able to endorse them as a product. 31 ingredients, they like freeze dry it and they, pack it up, and they're able to deliver those nutrients directly to you. So it is a wonderful product. You don't have to take my word for it. You can go on the website, balanceinnature.com, look at all the testimonials there. People love this stuff. I've met so many of you that have taken it for years, actually. But if you don't take it and you're new to the show, you can help the show a little bit and help yourself by going to balanceinnature.com. Get 35% off with my code word Trish. Trish, you know how to spell the name, and you get free shipping, and you also get a money back guarantee. All good stuff, all really good stuff. As we talk about the mental decline, my goodness, this doctor who is probably going to lose his license as a result of the alleged cover up of the whole mental decline for Joe Biden. I got a kick out of this one today. There's brand new video just released of the guy who was the campaign manager for one Joe Biden. Okay, so this guy got paid a ton of money. He got $4 million, which, like, to run a campaign, I think it's a big deal to run a campaign. And I actually have no problem paying people what they're worth. But in this case, it's like, wait a second, you got paid $4 million and he lost. And then Kamala lost, right? Like, the whole thing was like a big loss. So I think a lot of people were like, And he was going to get an additional $4 million bonus. This is a little bit unusual and unorthodox. Again, I, as a free market capitalist, don't necessarily have a problem with it if you deliver, right? You should get a bonus. Well, he was going to get a $4 million bonus if Biden won again. But here they are asking about it in the testimony. And I had to show you this because I was on the floor laughing this morning. I'm like, oh my goodness. Oh dear. This poor guy, he's as bad as Biden himself. No wonder they couldn't get to first base.
That's my view.
Just to be clear, would the amount of
pay you received for your role in the campaign, would that have changed depending on how far into the race President Biden made it?
Okay, wait for it. They want to know, you're going to get a change in your money if Biden won. And, oh, gosh.
My sense is that
Is he okay?
that
Seriously?
he
Oh my gosh. Is he channeling Biden? How many seconds are we in? We still don't have an answer? The tape's not frozen, guys. I didn't touch
in my
it.
view, the money was
The money was what? He's hard to hear right now.
that it was a guarantee for the campaign.
The money was a guarantee. Okay, I'm pausing it now. There we go. The money was a guarantee. That took 1 minute and 6 seconds to spit out. Goodness gracious. Oh, and
We had a negotiation, and
oh no, he's
that's my
coming for
memory of
it.
the agreement.
We had a negotiation, and that was the agreement.
Would you have received a
It's like
bonus?
some serious brain fog going on. So now he's being asked, did you receive a bonus? Watch what
Depending on
happens.
the way the campaign went, was that a possibility?
How the campaign went.
Were there any circumstances in which you would have received a bonus?
Yes, it was.
What were those circumstances?
That Joe Biden would have been reelected president of the United States.
Oh, gosh. I knew it's painful, guys. I knew it's painful. I just don't understand
Would
it.
have been $4 million.
Is
In
it
addition to
maybe
$4 million.
maybe he thinks he can get off, you know? Like her could say about him, he's just some feebly fumbling old man who can't actually remember a darn thing. I don't know. He remembers everything. I don't understand this. Like, why do you have to sit there and say, oh, I'm not going to do it because I can't have dead air like that. Right? Like, that's what we call in the business dead air. Gosh darn it. So one person on the campaign was paid $300,000. That's like the next person down. It was a woman. Ooh, you want to talk about equal pay issues? Okay, you know, the Biden campaign paying the gal $300,000 and the guy's getting $4 million plus an extra $4 million should Biden win. Of course, you know, maybe he deserved it in all honesty. If you could have delivered a Biden win, you might have deserved 100 times that because there was no way Biden was going to win. Just saying.